Also, we should honor conversation.
Hey, welcome back. Pleasure to have you. It's morning time. We are in the Black Forest. Nothing has really happened yet.
Oh.
Things are about to go
We
down.
sound going the right way. So you have the big
Shocked.
Yeah! You have the big clearing out ahead of you that you saw just before morning. So yeah, you're in the clearing. Sunshine.
Cool. Captain Devli, can I do a quick check of the approaching storm, see how far out it is?
Sure, up you go.
Can I do a little, or can I just see? Or should I do a scout roll for that?
No, you can see the clouds movements, and actually as you get to the top, you see a flash of like a ring of lightning in the sky, and you never seen like a ring of lightning happen in the clouds?
No.
Must be me, the country boy in me that's seen it.
Ruby sure has.
Ruby sure has. So like a ring of lightning that happens, and you hear like a... The mic can't pick that up, but it's a very low thunder.
It's good. It's really good.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
2 Mississippi.
Yeah, how many seconds?
Oh yeah, we gotta
is it?
make
It's
thunder
5 miles
cake.
for every second, right?
I'm gonna ask what
Yeah,
that is
thunder
later.
cake.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? You said yeah. No? Okay.
No one knows.
No,
what
thunder cake. Okay, so there's this book I read as a kid, and the girl had to go get all the ingredients from the farm to make the cake, so that way when the rain started, and she would have to like count, when the thunder would happen, she would count how many seconds between the next one or the lightning or something like that, and then that's how you determine how far away the storm is.
Yes.
And you'd have to make thunder cake before the storm got there.
Interesting.
So it's a race to make
It's
the
a
cake.
race to make the cake.
Okay. You don't
I think it
race to
is
bake.
5 miles, Nick.
Yeah, that's what Alone taught us. So you hear the thunder. You don't hear another one. You're still unsure of the exact distance at this point. So, but it's probably going to happen sometime today.
All right.
I come back down. I'm like, looks like we have a little bit of the morning ahead of us before rain hits.
Well, I think the best heading I can come up with is to find a point that is equidistant from where he eats and where the water is. Now, Prowlingale and Blue, do you think you could give us a direction? Just a nice heading in terms of a place that might be smack dab in the middle, so to speak, between where Kingfisher skins his kills and where the water is?
So some place we've already passed.
No, just like...
Moving forward.
Yeah, like I'm guessing his home base is maybe the same distance from the river and where he leaves his kills. And so just trying to find a spot that's like, I don't know, maybe 3 miles from our camp, 3 miles from the river. Just like basically a point between 2 other points, with the river and our camp being the points.
You know, Captain, I think we could map this out a little bit better and he pulls out the just most decorated map, like it's in the finest case, just beautiful. And he rolls that out and he's like, I think we could do this better if we just like put it on the map, you know, and we talk this out on the map and we could pinpoint this. You know what? A compass would probably help. Hold on. He pulls out this gold compass that's just beautiful.
What is this that you have? What is this?
I just said I have fine compass and maps. So I've never once used it before, so.
Well, Prowlingale, I'm disappointed there's no potpourri. Now, as I was saying, and
fine, dead legends.
So I just, basically point out like that if the water is here and our camp is here, like just trying to find a centralized location, just so we have a direction to go.
Well, let's find out if that you can attain a map of the Black Forest specifically, because the initial map you have is just of the merchant routes. You don't really have good information about the inner workings of the forest. And you do also know that the Kingfisher is staying near a holy site. So maybe the best way is to do a flashback of some sort that someone can pinpoint like different holy sites in the forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flashback.
So, flashback to me having a conversation.
I'll say that's a 1 stressor. For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Colossal Bakken.
Wasn't the temple to Nyx the one that we helped recover?
The pilgrimage one for the
Yeah.
Panyar. Yeah, if you want to give me some sort of role, I would say like research or any sort of like social skill or anything like that.
Yeah, all these things that I'm terrible at. I'm rolling with disadvantage no matter what I do, so why not do research? That's the one that makes the most sense.
I mean, you could sway Black Chirping to tell you about it. He lived in the Black Forest.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what we got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then
And
yeah,
he was
that's what I'll
protecting
do.
holy sites in the Black
I
Forest.
forgot that that was the same mission.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
when,
he has
when he
Black-
comes and I talk to him about it, first of all, I'm just very curious. So you lived at a temple to Nyx. What's up? That's my girl.
Oh!
That's
That's 6.
So, Black
All
Chirping has come across the Kingfisher Knight in the forest. You know that he stays at a site, the Horned One.
Okay.
Which was the embodiment of Nyx.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nyx and Horned One are different.
Oh, you're right.
Different
You're
chosen.
correct.
But the site's not too far from you.
Cool. So once again on this beautiful map.
Going back.
Oh, well, Captain, you know, we're not too far from the temple to the Horned One, and that's where Black Chirping came across the Kingfisher. Worth a shot.
I'd say let's move out.
Ja.
And we move out.
Sure.
And we move out.
Move there. All
So
right.
it probably takes a half day to get to the site. At that time, you can start to hear like the sprinkles hitting the treetops. It's probably gonna really let out over the next hour or so.
The rain is here.
You start to see a thinning of trees, and you start to see different animal statue iconography. So you see like a risen bear, like in hind leg stance. You can see like a statue a little bit like 50 feet or so, a dozen feet or so away from that. It's like a bird swooping in and like picking up a fish out of the water. You can see a sort of like bust or like a lower bowl that has little statues of like chipmunks that are like eating something, and you start to push forward more and more towards there, and you come out into this sort of like both stone and wooden structure. It's framed by a bunch of like very large, looks like ancient trees, and you can see a portion of the river that feeds into like a moat around marble, and it's like in a half moon crescent shape. So it breaks the threshold of where you are, which is like this flat ground surrounded by like little bits of foliage and moss that has kind of overtaken it. And then beyond that little tiny river is like an altar. And on the right of the altar, you see like this really old tree trunk that's from your perspective. Like the top of the tree trunk is maybe a little bit higher than most of you are. And then it's just this very wide moss mushroom covered thing. And then a statue of the Horned One at the altar. The two horns, sort of like clawed and avian featured, like multiple animal pieces make up the humanoid form of. And this is just one depiction of the Horned One. There's various other statues that if they're. I have 2 Panyar here, so like 3 Panyar.
4 technically.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All
the
the statues are different. Like they have different pieces, and it's either female or male. It's always a very fluid form of the Horned One.
If we're approaching, knowing we're on holy ground, I would put my weapon up at least. I wouldn't have my bow drawn, and I would be approaching slowly, hopefully to kneel before the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Captain says otherwise.
No, I don't say otherwise.
Go kneel down and lay a hand on the trunk and just close my eyes for a minute.
You should leave.
I think it's about.
The trunk moves and sits up, and you turn around and you see the Kingfisher Knight raising from like a prayer stance. He's covered in like moss and lichen. Most of his ceremonial garb, or most of the garb that you would wear under the armor. He's wearing like this huge like trunk that you saw as like a cloak made of like thin bark and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
And he has this huge two-handed like claymore at his side.
Fisher King. My name is Malcolm Shackleton. I'm an officer from the Legion.
You look like it.
We're here to ask for your aid.
Aid in what?
Well, the fight against the hordes of the undead.
Then you've come here to fight me, for I am now one of them. And you can see he wears a blindfold around his eyes.
Silver Powlingale steps up and is like, "Not yet, you aren't.
It's
I
only,
can feel it."
it's only a matter of time. He is giving off like a very faint aura.
No, I can feel the undead. You're not there yet. You've still got fighting.
Boy's not lying. Had a rough night in the home of a hag. Now he can sense him.
Try to stay as far as away as I can from that vicious hag. Breaker, she's the one that did this to me. But I can't put anyone else in jeopardy. You should go, leave. And kind of like returns to like a kneeling, sitting position in front of the statue.
Well,
Turns away from all of you.
Fisher King, we're never safe. We're never where it's safe. So while it is noble that you see this as protecting us, we both know that's not true. May as well have some danger that can help.
So, I have two clocks. I have the convinced clock and the refuses clock. You may now make any sort of action rolls that you think would help here.
Can I put a sway roll behind what I just said?
Sure, absolutely.
And
Right.
can I either assist or help in that by saying, like, thanking him for protecting the temple
Sure.
of, and I kind of gestured all of the Panyar here of the horned one.
Yeah, so you get an extra die for the roll.
Oh, Ruby. It's a 5 and a 5.
So 5.
That's one stress for me to help him.
Yes, that is correct. We're going to give you 2 convinced, 1 refused here. So the refused clock is smaller than the convinced clock, just so you know.
That's
So it's 1 and 1.
Basically, yeah.
Oh no.
It's 2 and 1, but the convinced clock is 10 and the refused clock is 8.
Okay.
So can you sum up the last thing you just said so I can respond
So
appropriately?
the last thing I said was, we're never safe. We never go where it's safe.
Mhm.
We'll always be in danger. So while it's noble that you see this as protecting us, we both know that's not true.
Just as the legions taught you. It's nostalgic hearing those words again. You've been trained well. I can't go back, not yet. I have to find a way to deal with this.
Do we have anything at the camp that
We're
seems like a
researching stuff.
hopeful? Can we offer this man anything in regard to a cure?
I made some tea when we were at camp before everyone woke up with some flowers in it. I could give it to him.
Just as like an act of kind.
But if we I don't know, is that like a project? Have we done anything toward finding a cure for corruption?
Yeah, there's
or is
nothing
it
that
just-
like
The
sets back
biggest
corruption.
Yeah.
project that we're working on right now is finding a way to imbue Blackshot or whatever Blackshot is into weapons.
Physical weapons.
Physical.
Melee weapons.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Kingfisher. It is so good to see another Zemyati.
It is nice to be reminded of homeland.
Yes,
But you're in unwelcome territory. Doesn't care what heritage you are here.
but we care. I care. I want to bring you home. There are more Zemyati with the Legion than there have ever been.
Would you like to make a roll?
I'm not done talking.
That hand! Keep going.
There are more than there have ever been. I will bring you to them, and we will fight, and we will feast together just like we did back home. And I swear to you, if this corruption gets as bad as you say it is, I will personally cut your throat for you.
Roll them.
What are you rolling?
Sway.
Is this desperate?
Yeah, is this desperate?
No, that's
Not
to resist,
necessarily.
that's to resist.
You're a Zemyati, so this is a pretty good control position for you. As far as effect, standard also because of Zemyati, it'd generally be limited, probably coming from anyone else. So controlled standard.
5.
5, okay. It's a partial success. It's both. It's a nice thought. It reminds me of home. It's a pleasure to have you here. Good to see another. But I have long since stopped making oaths. My blood is impure. I cannot shake hands with another ever again.
Respectfully, having read up a lot about you, we're not asking you to shake anyone's hands. You said Breaker did this to you?
That is correct.
And it seems like when things started to affect people's minds, SPG talking about being out here with that hag, those things get in our heads, but once we take them out, their power begins to wane. I don't know how much you've been able to do out here to stop Breaker from getting into other people and affecting them the same way. While they continue to march, more people fall. I'm not asking you to believe anything. I'm just asking you to hold up where we are and fight to the last. This is another sway.
Mm-hmm.
Can I can I assist with the stress of something?
You can assist. You can spend a stress and give him an extra die on his roll.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that.
So I have 2. And just for this, I'm also, again, I'm going to just place a light hand on his shoulder. Again, like actually get up close to him, and I don't have weapons drawn.
Mm-hmm.
So you get an extra die.
Okay.
This is going to be risky, limited effect, just because it's not coming from a Zemyati. Is kind of basically it's hard.
Let's make do talking from
Can
now on.
I
Yeah.
trade position for effect?
Sure. So desperate roll for standard effect.
6.
Cool.
And that was. And I'm looking at him where his eyes would be if he didn't have it there. Didn't have a thing covering them.
Right in the fold.
He brushes your hand off. Looks over to you. Have you faced a turned comrade yet? I'm British now.
Did
Yeah,
anybody
just
turn at
more
the battle
Russian.
where everything fell?
Say again.
Did people turn at the battle where everything fell? Were
You
there
haven't
people turn?
faced anyone from that event yet.
But I was there, right?
Yeah, you were there for sure.
We're the
but you
rear
haven't
guard.
faced like anyone turned yet. Anyone that was of this legion that marched beyond the Western Front. The
Mhm.
Kingfisher was like probably on at Skydagger Keep the first time.
Yeah.
And then was corrupted and then stayed here in the forest. So it was on the pushback. So he's got like 2-ish years on you, veteran.
Gotcha. No, sir.
It's a terrible thing to see your friends turned, to be turned, to cry with them at night as they hear the voices, as they see the imagery. And he kind of like takes off his blindfold, and you can see where whites are. There's now like a sick purple color, and then where the irises should be is just an opaque like blindness to them. I can hear him now. Even as you talk to me, his voice speaks to me, the Cinder King.
If we fail without you there, and our people around us begin to turn, like you said, we haven't dealt with that. We don't know what that's like. We need someone to guide us through those horrible times if they do come again.
I won't even know if the Chosen will have me. Shreo is merciless. Who stands with you?
Zora. She's the one who sent us here.
Anyone else think the same thing?
Oh, jeez Louise.
I say Rigger's the one that did this to you. Do you have any spottings of Eater? Know about Eater? Have any news about Eater?
I don't know who this Eater is. Most of the more powerful undead came after the push beyond the western.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Eater and the Hag and stuff. He only knows the Hag because the Hag now lives in the forest, but everyone else, he's not unsure of what those names are.
So what did Eater look like? What was Eater's thing?
He was like a big, pale hound, and the hounds are humanoids that have their teeth ground, their eyes sewn shut, and they're basically like naked human dogs.
I think.
And so pale was just like Eater was a big pale hound.
Yeah, like twice the size of any of the other ones, and just like sickly gray pale color.
So, well, you know Breaker's hounds
Also belongs to Render.
You know Render's hounds.
I do.
Well, he had a favorite called Eater, twice the size of a regular hound. Pale. Loved what he did. But you don't hear about him because we killed him. And we can do more if our ranks have more.
But you killed them without me, so it sounds like you would be fine without me.
Well, this is not true. We lost 2 soldiers. Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh, sorry, I don't know why.
So I'm fine. We're fine. Rose is not. Kismet Brown, no.
I remember Kismet. It's a good cook. Would you like to make a roll?
Yeah. Well, he remembers Kismet.
I'm gonna give him an extra point.
I mean, I'm impressed that I remember.
I'm gonna give you an extra die.
So you're gonna take a stress, you get an
Yeah.
extra die?
Can multiple people give him extra dice?
No, just one. One is just at a time.
Oh!
Oh my God, Lou!
He doesn't
I
control
was
the
about to
dice.
say, it's a roll of the dice.
It's
I'm
one.
sorry.
It's a one. The biggest is a 2.
It was risky limited.
Where
So.
is it? Oh no. Alright.
It's a good sentiment, and I am impressed. But it sounds like you're doing fine without me. Having me and not having me shouldn't make too much of a difference.
Every bit of difference counts. Every bit of difference counts. Every piece of food, every musket ball, every person that we can take with us, everything.
Yep.
Every moment of experience.
Did you just big yup? Big yup semiotic? Can he roll?
No.
Yeah, can he just look at it and go?
Yup.
Yup.
How long have you been here? These woods?
About a year now.
A year. Good. How long ago was it that we went into the woods?
2.
In terms of, you mean like when you dealt with the witch and stuff?
Yeah.
About 2.5 weeks ago, roughly.
Okay.
Every time takes like 9 days ish.
A couple weeks ago, we came out into the woods in search of a young man that went missing.
I know.
So you know.
I do.
I spent a day and a half, probably, in these woods. I barely survived. I might be the most skilled person in our group right now. And I barely survived. One day in these woods. And you've been out here a year?
Give or take.
And you say you have nothing to offer us?
It's not nothing. It's a risk. I'll be honest. I'm scared. I don't want to go further. It's everything that I can to keep the voices out as I sleep at night. They do that for a year.
Right now, what temple are you at?
The shrine to the Horned One.
Do you know who the Horned One is?
I do. I've worked with the Horned One.
I was there the day that the moon was shattered.
I remember.
I fought alongside my brother, who I lost fighting for the Legion. I could be holed up somewhere right now, doing the same thing, keeping to myself, saying that there's nothing I could offer, saying that I'm better off surviving. Instead, I'm trying to continue their legacy, fight for them, do something for them.
Boy, that is a choice. Do you have any of this? Have you been blighted yet?
I haven't been blighted, but that's only because I had people around me to help me. I'd be dead. I'd be theirs right now. I'd be worse off than you are.
And his name's the Fisher King, right?
Kingfisher.
The Kingfisher.
Voyas Kedovich.
I say,
Can I give you... I have one sway. Can I give you a chance? Can I give you one more dice?
Sure.
Is that what you're doing, sway?
Yeah. Well, I've got his one, so that gives me a second one.
This will be your swang. This will be risky limited.
You can...
It's a 4.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, how much stress you can push yourself for that extra dice?
Yeah.
Here we go.
You watch him stand and then turn and sit towards all of you for the first time now. Most of this has been like talking to the back of him. He's a big man, probably almost 7.5 foot tall, wide.
Do you remember home?
Crimson charging.
Do you remember home?
Every day.
Do you remember how the Nyati survived?
Every day. I do it now.
We survive through our loyalty to one another. We survive because we are stubborn.
Yes, we have all these traits.
heritage traits, I think.
You cannot survive alone out here. You need family. You need comrades. You need friendship. That is what you need. The Horned One, what does she need? She needs people who are looking for answers. You cannot do this in the woods. You can do this with us. We have people who can research. We have people with minds bigger than I ever imagined. The Horned One. Okay.
I want to ask, can we have, like, we've all said that, can we do a group sway led by Shackling? Because I want to add on top of that the fact that I say the last chapters of the annals haven't been written yet.
Oh, dope.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Sure.
And your story
that's
isn't
okay,
over.
yeah.
Our story isn't over. That's what I add.
I've got 2, and I get an extra if we're rolling for group. Are we doing group?
Yeah, let's do group.
And if you lead it, man.
Let's lead it.
Who's leading?
0.
I'll lead it.
Okay. So, all together, risky standard.
I'm pushing myself for extra dice.
I want this man.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful man.
And
I got 0, so I do
I got a
just
6.
right? Oh god. Fuck.
6.
2 sixes.
I got a 1.
You
6.
guys got a success. Gives you 3.
You got 1, so that's 1 stress for me.
Mhm.
Cool.
So, while everyone's been talking and convincing, I've been kind of by myself picking flowers around the area,
Mm-hmm.
and I am rigging them into a garland
Okay.
that I present
Mm-hmm.
And I say, "Excuse me, I made this for you."
Freak.
I also cook really well, so if you want a treat every now and again, I'm sure you haven't gotten anything quite like my cooking.
He takes your little garland.
Are you trying to say that you want to see what the rig, how
Yeah.
good you made it?
Yeah,
to see if that can be the
Sure.
Push yourself for that extra
Oh,
dice. You
I
have no
will, I
stress.
will.
You have no
I will.
stress. Push it.
Stress,
Push it.
stress.
Too stressful.
Too stressful.
Too stress.
Yeah, it's too stressful for push
Yeah,
yourself.
push yourself.
That was one stress.
One stress is to help someone.
5.
Cool. Yeah, so takes the little garland.
It's not a little garden.
To him,
garland.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
I
It like fits around his wrist, so he like slides it through his fist through it and like puts it around. It's cute.
Thanks.
The part that hurts most is that I can no longer share Blood Oath. I can't take a promise with anybody. And that is the most crushing part of being Zemyati and cursed. If unfamiliar with what he's saying, Zemyati all carry sacrificial daggers with them. Or not sacrificial daggers, but like iron daggers that have the hilts made from the tree. And they swear oaths to each other by blood brothering. They slice their hands and shake hands and exchange blood. That's their blood oath.
Mm-hmm. I take my dagger.
Sure,
I slice my hand.
sure.
Once is Zemyati, always is Zemyati.
You don't know what you're asking.
I do.
What do you want? For this, to be corrupted.
I want my brother back.
You're gonna get corrupted if
risky.
you do this.
Risky, great effect.
Oh, you'll get
Yeah.
corrupted.
Yeah.
Push yourself for that
Yeah.
extra dice.
You think I should?
Push yourself for that extra dice, man. Why not?
Okay, I push myself.
Yeah.
This is a big risk, man.
Heroic bird. 6!
Yes.
He takes this kind of decayed hilt out of with an attached like bone dagger to it and slices this very large palm open. And you can see like the blood is this almost like it's very thick and has like this almost like the pearlescent stuff you see like an oil slick on the ground. You kind of see that like running in the blood, and he goes to grip your hand.
I take it.
You take 1 blight.
Oh my god, straight to blight. No!
Yeah, that's who she is, though.
So we're prowling Gale was like, oh shit.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fast.
So the reliquary doesn't stop
No,
anything
it will
like
not,
that?
It will not stop a blight.
It was a choice too. So.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you shake his hand, your eyes do the same thing. You watch as the whites of her eyes turn purple, and you see the iris disappear into an opaque, milky substance.
Why?
And you start to feel this like
Oh god.
this presence push into your mind. You hear like this low, like timbered voice that reaches out to you. Come, join, march with us. And that's all you hear for right now. So you have to mark a blight component for you down there as well.
How does Captain Shackleton feel about
What is
this?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh.
He doesn't know.
What is this word?
Miasma.
What's that?
So when I was young, it was like hard for me to.
I had my
Miasma.
That's good.
True story.
We gotta get this guy. That's the mission.
Ew,
you smell really bad.
You generate an aura or cloud of sickness and decay.
Or you
And what's
fucking
hope?
rage.
There's and there's also anathema. What's that?
Anathema, sources of divine power like reliquaries burn you instead.
That's what I'm gonna take.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that. And so immediately when that happens, the reliquary that I've been equipped with
Mm-hmm.
starts to burn.
Mm-hmm.
And I just take it and I throw it on the ground.
You throw and they shatter.
Oh, I didn't mean to throw it that hard.
It's a very gentle glass.
Oh, well, I don't throw it on the ground then.
that.
I thought I was just gonna like bounce.
Does it still work?
So someone
or
else
it just
could pick
doesn't
it up.
work on you anymore, really?
It
No,
will not work.
I
on
don't
you
get a
anymore.
reliquary anymore.
Even if you take reliquaries, you can't use it to stop corruption now. But he stands, you hear the claymore scrape against the marble as he rises, now in full stature. You see, like, he's like gray, this gray liquid like form in his eyes, tears, but it's like this strange viscous liquid that's like pouring out. It's been a long time since I've had another oath. Thank you. I will join your cause. I will help the Legion. On one condition. At some stage of this, we end Breaker. It's a large task, but it shouldn't happen to anyone else.
Agreed.
He speaks for us and he speaks for Zora.
You watch him go around the back of the altar, and he pulls out like this large set of plate armor that's been like super overgrown with moss, like very Green Knight-ish style, and drags it behind him. We leave now, and takes the claymore and just swats a huge path out of like this big chunk of tree that falls.
Am I blind?
Yeah.
No,
Or is it
you are
just-
not
okay.
blind. It just looks like that. It's something that's going to be hard to hide. You could wear a blindfold if you want to. Goggles, I think, exist.
Can I get some glass, like some cool like shades?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't see why that's impossible. But your mission is complete. You now have Voyas Kerovich.
Does he have like 2 blight?
He has 1 blade.
Okay. I was like, fuck. What is his? Is his also? What is his condition technically?
I did not give him one yet. Whoever wants to.
As
be.
we're traveling back,
Uh-huh.
is there anybody? Do we want to do any like moments or scenes?
Yeah,
or
if you
anything
up
like
to you
that?
guys. Up to you guys.
Yeah.
Voyas is just kind of carving the path through the forest at this point, heading back to where you entered from along the river.
I'm collecting berries along the path.
I'm just
If there are any.
in the front thinking about what this means and what future measures might have to be taken.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a big choice, I imagine. Like there's kind of
Yeah.
like both a yes, but like also a silence, right? Like, are we going to address what just happened now?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to give us this
Yeah, yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
Is if anybody wanted to talk to me or
Shackleton's
still
got
the
nothing to
same.
say.
I know.
When we left the temple,
Mm-hmm.
Silver, Prowl, and Gale hung back for a 2nd.
Mhm.
Like I like to think stealthily without them noticing.
Mhm.
And whether it's a statue or the altar itself
Mhm.
kicks over.
Okay.
He
Kicks over sun.
He fucks up.
So like maybe one
the
of those like
temple a little
because one of
bit.
those animal like even though they have a column to them, they're not like they're just weighted by their own weight in the ground. They're pretty easily like shovable. So the altar, the Hornwind altars itself is kind of like built into the ground, so you could probably kick over one of the animal ones.
Yeah, no, he makes sure it falls and is
Sure.
destroyed.
Like a big like chest kick.
I'm gonna walk up to the officer. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna look at him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, if it comes down to it, I want you to kill me.
That's the protocol.
Mission complete. And then we walk
Fun fact. Voyas Kerovich has Against the Darkness. Whenever he and squad mates are up against fear and corruption, you have an additional dice to resist.
Woo!
Oh.
So even if you are bladed, you can resist stronger. You should definitely travel with a group of Panyar.
Is this
Just
mission
saying.
taking multiple days? Yes.
Yeah, about 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Can I make some food?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to make a fruit salad.
Yummy.
Fruit hodgepodge, please.
Fruit hodgepodge.
Yeah.
So what does it do, home cooking?
Home cooking. Everyone in the squad that partakes clears 1 stress,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
including me. I'm assuming.
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
If I led one more negotiation and there was a 1, I would have fallen down.
No, on that last one that you were leading, I was rolling 1 dice. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to put him over. And it was a 5, and I was like, oh, thank God. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
As long as it wasn't me.
Can't take that kind of guilt
These
again.
things aren't that bad.
So yeah, even
I need to join.
yeah. If it's just one of those missions where like, sure, not a lot of fighting, but still taxing, right? Like you attained a blight now. You took a bunch of stress.
We're not leaving another.
So, you
Yeah.
arrive back at the Legion camp. Now we have the secondary mission. Ding T. Who is going on that mission?
That was Shimya,
Mm-hmm.
and let's send the sniper.
Okay. The Black Turpin?
Yeah, because we can be like, just protect.
And which squad?
It's near the Black Forest, so.
It's also near the Black Forest.
Mhm.
They probably traveled with us then for a moment.
Ghost Owls! Hoot hoot!
Let's send the Grinning Ravens.
Okay.
Oh god.
So,
Please don't die.
are all on the mission oath sworn to the Legion?
Yes.
Yes.
Take 1 die. Did the commander spend 1 intel to give you advance information on this mission?
Darn tootin' I did.
Alright. That's another die.
There's a hag!
That's
The commander just went, oh, there's a hag. You do not want to.
Does any Legionnaire distrust or not respect the leadership enough to obey orders on the battlefield?
Nope.
Cool. Are required specialists or equipment not on this mission?
Nope.
Supply mission additionals. Did the quartermaster spend food to equip the mission?
It is take 5 days, right? This mission.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you
then
need-
yeah. How many do I mark? Just
You
one?
just mark off 1, yeah.
So I need to take a die or don't?
You'll take a die. Is the current pressure higher than 2?
Yeah, it is 2.
No, it is.
It will be after this.
So,
So no minus that.
Okay.
Alright, so those are your dice. Roll.
5.
5. Choose either fail the mission and all troops return unharmed, or you can succeed and 2 squad members die and all specialists take level 2 harm.
We need those supplies, right? We really do, because we're about to leave.
We don't get the rewards from the mission until.
Unless we
Unless we
succeed it.
succeed.
See, which is going to cost
Which is going to cost...
2 rookies, and then the 2 specialists are going to take level 2 harms.
Did it gain an experience?
Specialists gain 1 experience when you return from a secondary mission. And then we also need to do experience before we move into campaign stuff for the people who just went on this mission.
Yeah.
Special K can take the 2 harm. She's fine. And then
They're both uninjured.
they're
Everyone's
both
fully-
uninjured.
Everyone's fully
Everyone's
healed.
fully healed. I say we need to succeed in this mission because we need those supplies because we're about to leave and we don't know when we're going to stop
Yeah.
next. So we're going to take the injuries and we're going to succeed in the mission.
And you have to lose 2 grinning ravens.
2 Grinning Ravens.
Ravens.
Bye.
Rip.
So,
And you get 2 supply.
Who wants to name a dead grinning raven? We have 2 names that we need to write down. Let's
I'll name one.
All right.
Grinning Raven named. Give me 1 sec.
We need to get some more people too. Just so you know. 2 level 2 harm or just 1 level 2 harm?
1 level 2 harm.
Aaron
Each.
ARUM.
Uh-huh.
Aaron Katri. KHATRI.
Who would like to name the second rookie?
Wait, sorry. 2 level 2 harm? 1 level 2.
1 level 2
One
harm
each.
per specialist.
And all of our specialists can take 3.
And then the favor that was available on this mission, none of it was glory, so you couldn't gain any favor for Zora. So next time you take the special ability, it gives you all 3. Potentially. But then that's like a wasted special ability, right?
It's an ability to get you better at making abilities.
Are we looking for another name right now?
Yeah, just another grinning raven name to put in the book of death.
Duchess Anastasia. We have 2 Panyar. I see what looks like maybe 2 Zenyatta. What was Aaron?
Aaron was a Barton.
So I guess 2 Barton because Rose Jackson are like the most English-ish named people. So we don't have any Orites on there. Someone wants
Let's
to
kill
do.
it. All right.
Someone's killing. All right, make it even.
Do it.
Death takes all.
That takes all.
Death takes all.
Nope.
Prince.
That's the name of a salsa. I was thinking Prego.
The soldier formerly known as Prince.
Oh boy.
Oh, come
Remember, Orites have titles as part of their
Yeah.
name. Lord, Queen, Prince, Liege, Captain.
Colonel Tyrius.
Colonel Tyrius.
Or because I cried.
How do you spell Tyrius?
Tyrius.
I-U-S. Can we make it? Can he be a rookie and a colonel at the same time?
It would have been.
The colonel's like his noble
He would have been.
title.
Yeah, okay.
The
cool.
colonel's irrelevant for the Legion, but the colonel for him is like, I'm the colonel.
He's a teenager.
Colonel Tyrius is dead. Just wanted to say it. That's epic. So yeah,
Shackleton found out.
that's who. What?
All right, experience time. So you get 1 for coming back from the mission alive.
Okay.
There was no enemy to defeat, so you don't receive any threat experience. You get an experience for your playbook specific thingy, which should be at
Yeah, what soldier?
You brought into your play your heritage or traumas.
Officer pages.
Technically, I brought into play my blight.
It should be like that. It'll be on the reverse side. It might be a. Do we double it? Do we double it? No, it's not. I'll look it up.
I help my squad through courage and
I think
determination.
it probably has something to do with channeling.
Definitely.
No, I think it's like getting resources, just some ish.
Survive the mission. Helped your squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the
When you
odds.
play an officer, you earn XP when you help your squad through enforcing discipline or strategic planning. Which I think is a yes.
Yeah.
Question. This
Answer.
one says, if you brought into play your heritage or traumas, I definitely brought into play my heritage. And at the end there, when I got blighted, I did bring into play the blight because I threw away the...
Sure.
Does that count? That's not trauma.
That's not
a
trauma.
blight.
Yeah.
So you don't get experience for bringing that into play?
No.
Okay.
As far as I can read, no. But I could be wrong.
Did I help the squad by staying out of the way or surviving despite the odds?
Did you?
Asking the group. Did we? Because I don't know. Staying out.
I know I did.
Yeah, you stayed out of the way.
I mean, you did some. Did you do some treetop surveying?
And I also was awake when the thing was happening with him.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
you shot
did-
the arrow that they followed.
Yeah, and
That's
he's
very specifically staying out of
the way. So does
I
that
can't
count?
believe we
Sure.
only got 3
Cool.
experience for this one.
Hey, we got a whole soldier.
a mission of
Got a
diplomacy.
whole ass soul.
Well, I got a whole ass blight, so...
Hey,
It's a whole.
We
risk
all
reward.
made choices.
In addition to getting the Kingfisher Knight, all specialists get an additional 2 experience. So Silver Prongale and Shackleton get 2 more experience.
But
And
Double
then
up.
you get religious supplies. You get additional religious supplies box.
do we get experience for the other mission?
For the secondary, all specialists get 1 XP.
Where do we want Black Chirping's experience, Tyler?
put it right in special abilities. He's got 1 eye right now, so he needs 2.
He's an undead hunter, dude.
Yeah, Black Chirping?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, he's totally going for notches next, or sharpshooter.
What was I trying to get?
And I think that is everything. Let me just double check the Voyous rewards.
Voice.
Alright, I promised for Special K got filled in.
Ooh.
Just so I
get-
know where I want to put that
get
though.
an extra dot.
Shoot.
Yeah,
I can't put it in shoot yet
Why not?
because you can only go up to 3 and 4 if you have gotten the elite.
You can go up to 3. You can't go up to
Oh,
4. Yeah,
I was
you
about
can
to
go
have a
up to
heart
3.
attack. I was like, no!
Yeah, you can go up to 3.
You just can't go to 4.
All my shots have been a sham.
Shot sham.
Shot jam. It's that special
Ow.
pistol, dude.
Alright, my shoot is now better.
Sick. Stack.
Oh,
So everyone's experience has been applied.
I think
Thanks.
so.
Turn in your character sheets to the marshal, please.
And I was right. My rookie doesn't take any XP, right?
That is correct. Yeah, if they weren't
That's what I
played,
thought.
they don't XP.
Neither does Big
You
Nick.
need all. I still have some characters.
I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
give them all to.
Yeah, if you've got
Oh,
any
do you have ones that
characters-
we didn't get to
And
heal
Nika, yeah.
from last time? Yeah, Anika's fine because she didn't take any damage. Same
Yeah.
thing with.
Yeah, if an NPC takes damage, they just die.
And then
That's right, yeah. They're not being
oh my
played
God, I have so
because they
many.
died.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Or
guys.
it's a specialist.
Yeah.
Do
It
you have ones
doesn't
with...
automatically die to take a D.
Have one what side of
I
the
think I'm holding paper. Who this for me?
Oh no, these are all this is all lore keeper stuff.
Cool.
So now you have 3 blighted characters.
Don't remind me.
But they're all equally blighted.
Your person's blighted or corrupted?
Some people have corruption that can be
Blighted.
healed still.
Corruption.
I have a character that's blighted, and it's a rookie
Blighted.
that's blighted.
Yeah.
So that's a whole, journey.
Well,
Still.
currently corruption cannot be healed.
Yeah, but that's what
Give this away.
we're looking for. Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get organized. Let's
Sure.
keep going.
Sure.
I mean, if the rookie gets really bad, we just kill him, right?
No.
I mean,
She's
they
my
have
sister.
a twin.
So time marches forward.
That really hurts. Oh, we had a twin.
You mark
Okay.
1 time.
Okay.
Skip it up, pop, pop.
We need one more favor. to
Louis
get
Prima
that.
in the house.
Summer has ended.
Summer has ended.
I want everyone to know summer has ended.
It should
Summer
be
has
spring has
ended.
ended.
No. Summer ends, fall deepens.
Oh.
Yeah, so summer has
God.
ended, the south has fallen.
Good. I mean, what?
I mean, everything's gonna fall. That's the whole.
Autumn.
That's where.
If
That's
I
all
were
of
to pick
it.
one
Yeah.
region, that's
That's why
why
they
So-
call it fall.
When your clock fills, I get to add new broken abilities.
Whoa!
When the first thing fills up.
When every clock fills, I get a new broken ability.
So you didn't need to be like, shit's gonna get harder. No, it just naturally would have.
Yeah, it naturally gets harder, dude. That's what I was saying. It comes now.
It's natty. All natty.
Like usually by the end of the game, I will at least have 2 more.
Always.
So after we do these campaign actions, I add one more pressure, right?
No, you add 1 more pressure now.
Okay.
Yeah, time and pressure increase. Then you have to decide if you're advancing before campaign actions happen.
We are advancing.
All right.
Sorry, spies.
no worries.
And that was just to
That
get
bad
access
roll,
to the
yeah.
special missions in this area.
Yeah,
So we got the-
ended
we
up
got the
getting
2,
it.
yeah.
We got what we.
He's a heavy, right? He's a heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got a heavy. Who's gonna be playing as this person?
Up to you. It should be you.
Me.
I think it should be you.
Yeah, because you should
You
be
did
hands
both.
on them.
Yeah, you got that.
Uh-oh.
Blight.
Okay.
It's your character.
You got that.
Yeah,
Blight.
I got chirping, so I finally have a special, so I'm cool.
I picked an ability one that was thematic, but also so that like when you get another special ability, you can decide what kind of playstyle of heavy you want this to be. If you want it, like I know he has the claymore, but you could not make him an offensive heavy. The offensive ones usually focus on the anchor ability and like are able to fight like threat 3 opponents mono a mono.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Grace, I have your Princess Plum here.
I
What
forgot.
group is she part of?
I
I
forget.
think she's a Star Viper.
Yes,
that's the
yes.
one other group
that
that's
was
in out.
when you
I
did
know.
Hammer.
That's
Oh,
where.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
'cause
Star
she's a
Vipers.
princess and I was the duke.
Cagney.
So many
So,
characters.
if you're advancing,
Mm-hmm.
does the quartermaster want to spend horses to reduce pressure?
Yeah.
You're allowed to spend multiple horses. For every horse you spend, you lower pressure by 1.
I mean, I have 4.
Oh, we have 3 pressure right now.
Oh.
So how pressure works for him is this decides how much further the next clock goes up based on his roll.
Clocks are 10.
And he's rolling 3 dice right now. He rolls a dice for every pressure. If pressure is 0, he rolls 2 dice and takes the lowest.
Then I think we should spend 2 horses.
Brings you down to 1 pressure.
Okay. 2 horses, 1 pressure, and if I have 1 pressure, one second, I'm trying to understand how this works. If it's 1 to 3, I have 1.
That's what you roll. When you roll a 1 to 3, you tick up 1. 4 to 5, 2. 6, 3,
okay.
critical 5.
Gotcha, and I take the lowest.
That you're rolling 1 single dice right now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Would I roll more and take?
No. The roll, what your highest single digit is. So if you were rolling 3 dice and your highest was a 6, that means you're taking 3 ticks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So now if my highest is okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you're rolling 1 dice, depending on the result, determines your ticks.
And I'm
You're
trying-
lowering the odds of getting like multiple 6s. Right now you can't like crit fail, right?
Okay.
The higher number is the
This is
fail.
the only thing that works inverse. Like
Yes,
I wanna roll
correct. Yes.
And I
You
want
want
to roll less.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That
2.
So
That's
you
good.
only take up 1.
Nice. That's really good.
So, as you leave Plainsworth behind along the now muddied road by the storm that opens up, you travel for the next 2 weeks along the Sunspire Mountains northward.
Yes, I did not say this, but we are heading to Sunstrider Camp.
Oh, heard, yes. Good, because that's what I have prepared. It didn't...
I had mentioned it, but I didn't
Yes.
tell everyone here.
Yeah.
Sunstrider. We're going around.
So we're going around
That's
the
the
mountain?
black. We're going around the Black Forest. The Black Forest is right above the mountain.
Yeah.
So he was right near the top of. Yeah. We're going around to Sunstrider Camp, which is an old Legion stronghold.
Encampment, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be like a logging camp, but
And then from there, we're going to decide if we're going to Westlake or if we're going through.
Durish Forest.
Yeah.
So you travel for the next 2 weeks along the muddied roads. The rain doesn't let up for about a week and a half or so, transitioning from sprinkles to heavy rainfall. After coming around the bend of the Sunspire Peaks along the open plains, you find yourself declining into a forested valley. You can see in the distance multiple farmsteads and lodges that litter the man-made clearing. When, from the mountainside path to your right, come barreling are a number of undead wrapped in gauze and cloth, dribbling a toxic green ooze from their chops.
From in front of us?
From coming down, like you are riding straight towards the camp right now, and there is like an avalanche of undead coming down at you.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
What are you doing?
What? What is
We
this?
fight,
What
we're
the fuck
an
is
army.
this? Yeah.
Where we fight?
Who are
Just
Okay.
as they find themselves on top of you, a number of cavalry with horses of bright red manes and white hair charge from behind the tree line ahead of you. A number of them bar the undead from you and extract you from the point and rush you towards Sunstrider Camp. When you look back to the fighting folk, in the setting sun's red and orange blaze, you can see the silhouette of an advancing, massive figure standing framed by the mountain ravine.
Oh
Is
no!
it breaker? Because let's fucking go.
Let's kill him right now. Let's go.
After a couple of hours, you come upon the once bustling trading post for the local plainsfolk, now choked with tents of refugees from the surrounding area. This area also serves as a winter camp for many of the horse clans. Currently, the leader of them is Horse Lady Saga. She is the one that extracted you from that forested area. A large, plain-looking woman with an elegant demeanor, she and her clan have taken charge. In exchange for food and supplies and shelter, they take the offense against the undead, using their special breed of horses, the Fjormine, or the Firemane in the common tongue. As you enter the camp from horseback, Lady Saga directs you to a section of camp where you can set yourselves for your stay. She looks forward to your assistance against the Cinder King's forces and rides inwards towards the camp. Welcome to Sunstrider Camp.
What a warm welcome.
We're gonna be busting some skulls in these next missions.
No, we
guys.
gotta run.
saw-
Just stayed too long in
You
Plainsworth.
as you looked behind you,
Yeah,
leaving
but
the
we
people
didn't
who were
take out enough
fighting.
of
That
the
was like the
forces.
last image you saw.
We didn't stay.
and then we went into the walls. Are there walls?
You went around the mountain bend and towards Sunstrider Camp.
Jesus.
So zombies?
If we were to ever equip siege weapons, how do we do that?
You can use them for missions, and they operate as threat through weaponry.
Okay. Cool. Noted. So we can equip them when we hear the mission. What the mission is? Okay.
Yeah.
You have some?
Oh no, definitely not.
Oh.
No. How do we acquire those?
Long-term project or acquire assets. Siege weapons are exceptional quality, so you would have to roll double 6s to attain them.
And they're big, right? Like
Yeah.
battering
And
rams,
they're big.
cannons.
Yeah, it's like catapults and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
cannons.
Ballistas.
hot oil.
So, welcome to Sunstrider Camp.
Holy shit.
You now have, now that you're here, you can start doing campaign actions, spy actions. You can do, you can gather information around the area.
Okay.
Maybe find out what some special missions are.
Do we do that at the end of our game or the beginning?
The campaign phase we're doing at the end, your mission select will be the start of the next game.
Okay, heard.
Yeah.
Who goes first?
Okay.
It would be Quartermaster and Spymaster go.
You can go next.
Oh, and also, we need a back at camp scene.
Now or when they're done?
It can be either or. That's
What do you guys want to do?
Are you asking all of us?
Quartermaster
or
and
just-
Spymaster.
Quartermaster and Spymaster.
Who wants to
what
go
do you
first?
guys want to do?
Nick, you go first.
Yeah,
I go first?
Yeah. Vote Nick.
Okay. Alright.
So it's Baron von. What is the name?
Baron Vincenzo Vaughn.
Vincenzo von.
Excellent. You pick whether it's Baron Vaughn or Vince Vaughn.
Steps out of his horse-drawn carriage, in the muddy
No, his
soil.
horse-drawn carriage pulls up. Somebody that's not him steps out of it,
Okay.
and then he turns the corner and is like, "Why would you think I would be?"
He's
in
the
there?"
driver.
He was actually the horse.
He was the horse the whole time.
the whole time.
The
Yeah.
front end and the back.
He was all of it.
Ingrid and Antoinette and don't say it. B starts with a B. Boris step out of the carriage.
How could you blow it like that? It's Bortis.
Oh, Bortis sucked my ass, dude.
Mortis would not do that unless it was
Mortis.
absolutely necessary.
Never suck someone's ass.
I don't know. He's very good at expanding networks. He's probably done something. Anyways,
Let's figure it out.
no. So he's gonna go and start. I kind of feel like he should start his expand network again.
Okay.
So I can get some more in my tree.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna do that, and he rolls.
2 die, right?
Yeah, and he generates +1 segment. Yeah. So that's the first one.
Double sixes, double sixes, double sixes, double
That's
sixes,
what we
double
hope
sixes.
for.
Double sixes.
That's a 5.
That's a
That's
5.
alright.
Yeah, it's 2
So it's
sixes.
actually 3 ticks for him.
Total, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Sick.
All right, and then you have the girl.
Ooh,
To
for a
interrogate.
single question
Yep. You
All
may
right.
ask one additional intel question.
from any of the questions.
Yeah.
Yep. So she's yours, and then Antoinette will be helping you out with the
Acquire assets.
acquire assets if you need it.
And also, if you need rookies, there's a campaign action for that.
Yeah,
if that matters.
recruit.
We are down 4 rookies.
How
Yeah.
many do we get from the recruit action?
5, and if you boost it, 2 of them are soldiers.
Because
So-
we got that supply. Did you mark down the additional supply we got?
Probably if it was said.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. 6.
So I think we want to acquire assets and potentially recruit, but what was that long-term project that we were talking about?
Siege weapons?
Long-term projects is just narrative things that you want to do, right? So, like,
I know, but there
the
was something
corrupted
we're talking
the black weapons, basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you have to start a long-term project for that, which we discuss how many segments that is and if it's worth it to you to start doing that. And then if you acquire laborers at any point, they automatically tick up your clocks for you without you rolling.
Okay. Cool. I think we can wait on that. Let's do acquire assets and recruit.
Okay.
So
What do you do first?
acquire assets.
All right, and any particular? Well,
What's the location's assets?
no, that's Plainsworth. That's the long road.
I was like, oh, there's people here. Why did I feel like this was an abandoned outpost? I'm so glad there are other people here, and there's like other people
Asset
fighting,
rating
and I was
is
like,
1 here.
So we're doing
So I
acquire assets and
You would roll
recruiting.
1 dice without any modifiers.
Except, don't I get another one
You get an extra
from
dice.
Antoinette?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you get 2.
you can do it. Double sixes, double sixes.
Yeah, that's
a
one
6.
six.
So that's fine. So you can get up to fine quality stuff.
Siege weapons?
Siege weapons are exceptional. You cannot access siege weapons. Siege weapons.
She just wants a big gun.
Yeah.
When is Glock? When is that one available?
Can we start a clock for Glock?
Yeah, can we
Is
a
crit-
Glock?
Is crit if I had gotten 2 6s?
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we can get some fine looking shit.
Yeah, you can get fine quality stuff. So, this is sort of a refugee encampment. So there's food supplies, there's horses for sure, because all the horse clans are staying here. You probably won't be able to get religious supplies here. You can get food, horses. You can probably get laborers if you wanted to. And you could probably get a supply cart as well. So when you leave from area to area, you can only take as much supply as you have carts. So if you had left Plainsworth with 5, you would only bring 3. So supply carts let you take extra supply from place to place.
Mm.
So you get to take food, horses, laborers, and probably a supply cart. But I don't think you'll be able to attain any alchemist, religious supplies, or mercies.
Or Blackshot.
You could probably get Blackshot.
We have 3 Blackshot left. So if I equip 1 Blackshot, does that mean everybody gets 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna erase this guy. So we need that. What do you guys think we need more of?
How many horses we got left?
We have 2.
I think we could definitely use horses, and I think we could use people.
Can I
so
get
I was thinking
both?
horses or laborers.
Oh, I have to get 1.
No, not laborers. I'm talking about we need soldiers.
Yeah, that's,
Oh,
She's
that's
doing
so
that.
that's our
different.
next campaign.
She's doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can break it up and reduce the quality of things. So you get like laborers and like low food or something like that. Because laborers are gonna be they're like standard quality, so you would get like 1 quality left of picking something else up.
We have 5 food right now
Mhm.
total.
Didn't you also have that fine food one?
That's what the fine.
Oh,
food
the 5 is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So technically,
have
we could
5.
get laborers and then get like 1 thing of horses.
Yes, yeah, like one 2 use of horses.
What are the other
Do
things
you
we
want
can get?
Because that's what we were debating between, right?
Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Just do laborers and run.
And now you have the laborers for your long-term project if you want.
So I just check 1.
So for every check of laborers that you have, any long-term projects that you start will automatically tick up without you having to roll on them.
1 second. The religious supplies I just read. I equipped that, right? At the beginning of the last?
Yeah,
gave it to us.
It's fine quality, so it reduces corruption by 2.
that is correct.
Did we already do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
If used, the blight, it was a straight blight.
Right,
There was
so it
no
wasn't
corrupt.
corrupt,
Yeah,
okay.
it didn't matter.
Okay.
So we give those back at the end of the day, basically? Oh, no.
They're used. They're used.
Okay, so that's all said and done. We did that.
And we got new religious supplies.
Let's
Those are new.
recruit.
Okay. So
Gain up to 5 rookies.
and then if you boost it, you can get 2 of them as soldiers.
That would
Yeah.
make sense to put the Shattered Lions in the soldiers, especially from this area.
What do I spend to boost?
The supply.
Supply.
Yeah.
And we got a lot now. So.
Or we hold on to it because we don't know when we're going to not have supply.
At some point, I know you guys want to liberty as well. You have some stress building up amongst the entirety of the Legion.
Yeah. So I'd say we need to hold 1 to de-stress everyone. But I do think
Hold 1.
I do think getting
So-
soldiers now, since we've lost rookies, having soldiers that
Maybe
are
I
ready to move
boost.
forward.
So I can boost by spending 1 supply.
Yes. So here's the question: how do your specialists look as far as stress is concerned?
Alright, let's see.
Because that decides whether you should recruit now or after the next mission.
Okay, so Devil Eye, stress wise,
Yeah,
or health wise. Devil Eye has 1, 2, 3, 4 stress.
out of 6,
Out
right?
of 6.
He's pretty stressed.
He's
'cause he was
pretty
just
darn
on that
stressed
mission.
out. Silver Prowling Gale has 1 stress. Special K has no stress.
Because the last thing that happened is she traumatized.
And Voyous has no stress. And Black Chirping has no stress. And Shimya has 3 stress.
Okay, so basically, if you, as long as you don't take Shimia and Shackleton, you don't really need to like Liberty because you can still use like a new squad. So yeah, you can recruit on this go. It's a safe choice, I think.
But what if the next mission is a fighting mission?
We got people who can do that now.
Yeah.
We do.
We
Okay.
got a sniper and
Oh
we got
yeah,
a
we have a heavy. Great.
That's why I was
Yeah.
like, we need
Then
this.
I'm
Because they
going
keep getting
to
hurt
boost.
and then we're fucked.
Gives you choices.
I'm gonna boost and get a soldier.
2 soldiers.
2 soldiers?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 soldiers, 3 rookies?
Yep.
Dope.
2
Yeah.
soldiers.
It's
3
happening,
rookies.
it
I'm
happens.
putting the soldiers in Shattered Lions.
Okay.
Right on.
And then 3 rookies. Will we have an extra rookie then?
They just don't count. You just get 2 more rookies.
Well, we just have 1 extra because we have 2
You
spots.
can't
in the
have
grand.
extra.
You can't have extra.
You can only fill
You
up
only
what
have
we
enough supplies for 30 people and your specialists.
So we just
Lose out on it.
Another rookie came and was like, "I'd like to sign up." And we were like,
Fuck no.
"Seats taken."
It was Steve Rogers, and we were like, "You're shrimpy. Get out of
Get
here."
out of here.
Probably gonna become an experiment.
That's it for the campaign actions. That's it for the Spymaster stuff. Back at camp scene.
Right, back at camp scene. The only selectable option left for our current and constant high morale is
Oh yeah, don't forget to mark your morale down for the 2 deaths.
2 jets. We lose 2 morale.
Did we gain any more? No, we didn't do
we
it
didn't
morale.
get any morale. So we are down to 8.
We actually are
Still not
below.
bad.
10
Does that take you
morale
into-
for the first time.
No, 8
That's
and
not
up. is
bad.
Oh, okay,
fine. There's no. We already had a remembrance for the fallen, so I'm assuming I just forgot to bump
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in. And so the only selectable option in the high morale subset of options at back at camp scenes is that supply crates go missing, but no one admits to knowing why. And so, Grace,
Does that actually affect our supplies?
Unless you want it to.
is your quartermaster like a character, like a named
Brunhilde.
Brunhilde?
Yes.
So
She's
we'll
character,
say
I'd say.
that like camp supper is being like ladled out over the pot on the bonfire, and like the ember wolves are around the bonfire, or they're at their own like circle around the bonfire. The stags are at their own like there's like a big old fire, and then 5 little log circles orbiting it. And Brunhilde runs out and is basically like, I demand an explanation.
So someone like was eating more than their fair share. Is the
We'll
idea.
admit.
Supply crates. Entire crates are gone.
Oh, breaks in. I see.
That's why I was like, is that actually going to affect our
Crates
supplies?
go missing.
Not
No one
necessarily.
admits to knowing why. So at least 2
Sure.
crates.
All right.
Well, I don't know what
I'm
what
playing as the
what
commander
comes in a
currently.
crate. If you gotta move it,
A crate of...
Well, I mean,
we don't have any screws.
Let me help with this.
Yeah.
A bunch of the food is spoiled. A bunch of like the food crates have spoiled.
But nobody admits to knowing...
How that happened.
How?
I guess that doesn't really.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
gotta be something
Just-
we can blame.
you can
someone
go ahead.
for.
Yeah.
Just like, because you like you'd be the quartermaster keeping track of that, right? So like it's gone,
Right.
and you're
The food is gone.
Or whatever you want to be gone.
Okay.
I'll figure out narratively what that means.
Okay. Everybody line up. We're missing some things. I need you all to line up.
You hear? Yup. And
I was waiting for that.
Big Gavin lines up. Cuts lines up. Shackleton lines up.
Oh shoot, they're doing
another gear inspection.
I'm ready.
Everybody I can vouch for lines up.
All of Luke's characters line up.
No rule
Yeah,
breakers.
everyone lines up.
All
Yeah.
of Delaney's characters line up.
All
in the
that
middle
your
of
hands.
dinner again.
All-
Lexi closes her book.
All of my characters line up, and Crimson Charging lines up with grease stains all over his the front of his shirt.
Actually,
Crumbs
I don't-
all over his face.
I don't know if one of my characters would be there. I don't know if Marama would be there.
Okay. So Morana is missing from the lineup.
She's not eating dinner with everyone else.
We're missing
Ria's there.
Her?
jerky. This is the most important thing we take on our journeys. Jerky. I want everybody to empty their pockets now.
Immediately, definitely, boom, 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 empties his pockets. Yeah.
Goop empties his pockets. He had a bunch of sticks. Like cool rocks.
Person charging empties his pockets and they're all really greasy but empty.
Why is he so greasy?
It's greasy all
Why is he
over.
so greasy?
Did
Cuts
you do it?
and Yup and Cagney and Deverline and Black Flood.
Remember
Yeah,
all your
yeah,
characters. There you
They
go.
all open up their pockets.
One of my characters has Big League Chew in his pocket. So.
What?
And Crimson
Where the fuck did
charging
he get
reaches
that
into his
luxury?
back and then
It's his family moment.
pushes a handful into his mouth.
Big League Chew?
No.
Oh.
Wait a minute, who did that?
Crimson charging.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
spit it
Spit. What up?
out. I'm gonna go up behind him and do the Heimlich.
Oh my god! Yes! big woman, Brunhilde, just squeezing the shit out of you.
As that's happening, Goop is gonna lean over to Lexi and go, what is she doing to him?
I
eventually
think
comes
she
out,
is
right?
trying to help him in case he is choking, but I don't think he's choking.
So Nick, 3 farts and 1 puke later.
Yes, he comes out and Cuts goes, the jerky, yeah, he had it.
Oh
Look
my
at
god,
it.
what an asshole
The-
Cuts is now.
God!
The tent flap opens up and you just hear you see the commander come out. She's like, Brumhilda, where is my jerky?
Oh my god.
Oh, big guy. I need a lot of food.
Yeah, you don't see Big Yup stealing jerky, huh? He's a stocky fella.
Yep.
Oh, big yup. He's a large.
Yep.
What?
Halfway between medium and large. I'm like triple XL.
He's not the March.
The commander walks up to you and says,
What?
you are a big boy. Very strong.
Thank you.
So I'm sure it should be no problem being able to shovel the shit from all the horses. You can have dinner when you're finished. Go.
He leaves, walks out, but also reaches into his pack and
Oh my
shit.
That guy.
And see.
The Heimlich maneuver on someone who's not
Spit it up!
joking.
Get it out of there! Go!
So nasty. I also love that we stock so much jerky. Yeah, we got stuff to cook, but do we have anything with you just
chew?
bite?
Oh yeah, protein.
Got to, man.
I'll make some jerky.
It's all like
Through these
rabbit.
hills.
It's a rabbit jerky.
would
solo
you-
jerky?
Would you now like to gather any information
Jerky.
or spend any intel for stuff? That's
I
what
got
makes the
0
roleplay.
intel right now. No, wait. Yeah, I got 0 intel, but I am going to ask my one question.
Mm.
Do we not get any intel from the Spy Master this round?
It just gives him
The ability.
extra.
Oh yeah, you get 1 any question plus your 0 question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well, this would happen when missions are up. I'll ask, how does our chosen feel about the missions? But that I'll save for when we know what they are. But my hold 3 one that I'm going to get for free is, what is a specific broken researching? I want to know what Breaker is doing. Like, that is the one thing that she is looking into.
Breaker is
Whether that's routes, whether that's powers.
with the witches that you've kind of come across over the last couple of weeks, you know, you find a couple that like witches that try to like enter the camp, right? You start to get a sense of like what the sigils look like what the spell is. You start to kind of like decipher, not necessarily how to do it, but what the commonality between, so you can identify maybe like hexed or other witches or something like that. But then you start to see like this variant mutation to like the most recent ones you found, and it just seems like there's a new type of sigil being worked.
So it has to do with the witches. Breaker's forces have those witches, and even the hag is technically for Breaker.
Yeah.
I feel like the hag stayed in the forest, or all right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I do have, because I thought you were going to move last time, I have those missions prepared if you want to know what they are for that question.
Oh, yeah, sure. We can just have like a cliffhanger as to what we're gonna do.
At least I hope I did. I really thought I did. Sunstrider. Did I pick myself?
Are you singing the Go Team? Is that what's happening?
I'm just looking for the stuff. Looking for the stuff. Looking for the stuff.
Oh, thank God. I almost pooped my pants.
Almost pooped his pants.
What's the name of my character that died immediately again?
Almost pooped his pants.
That would be
Indigo Prowling Gale.
Indigo.
Indigo Rising Gale.
Rising Gale.
IRG.
R.I.P.
If you want to read those for the group.
We've got Operation the Night Watch Recon. Lady Saga couldn't be here, but she has sent the request of having some Legion soldiers relieve her soldiers from their guard posts for the evening. She wants to supply a squad to watch 2 points along the outer edge of the camp. If any adversaries appear to be approaching the camp, we are to flare and contact reinforcements immediately. If any pass by, allowing the men to rest and watch their movements, find out where they're going and potentially why, but only far enough as to not jeopardize the entry point. So follow them if we see anyone going somewhere. Got it. Operation Perched. Mission type Assault. Lady Saga will be leading assault against a movement of undead looming down the mountainside. The scouts have seen the march but can't determine their exact exit point from afar. We'll wait for them at the mountain base on horseback. She will provide horses for us to fight on ground level. That doesn't mean there isn't a chance of us to go into the mountains. Kill the entire squadron of the undead that comes down and then head back to camp. Any Sunstriders that die here also count for morale loss for the Legion, 3 to 1. So 3.
For every 3 Sunstrider troops that fall during this, you will lose 1 morale.
Okay. Reward is +3 morale. Penalty is +1 pressure. Cool. So
There's one on the back.
Oh, ooh, sneaky. I didn't know that. The Tail End. Another recon mission. We have a rare opportunity. Sunstrider scouts report a portion of Render's Black Oak Knights will be passing by the camp within the week. They spotted a number of cages amongst the tail end of the pack. They could be some of ours left behind after the Western Front movement. Why are they alive? We are unsure, but the opportunity to get experience on our side would be a massive asset. The force is threatening, but thankfully they don't seem to be concerned about the rear guard. We will commence the operation at night during the coming overcast. This is a stealth extraction. Get them and get out. Saga says she can provide horses for this, but we owe her a favor.
Wow.
What? +2 soldiers, +1 specialist, +1 intel, penalty 2 deaths. What does that mean? 2 of us just have to die?
If
you fail the mission, yes, 2 of you will die.
That's an intense reward, though.
Yeah.
Intense reward, intense risk.
How does Zora feel about it?
Because we might have auxiliary.
Yeah, I want to know what Zora's thoughts
I have
are.
a Spy Master ability where I can do things to like do +1 to reward and penalty. And so it's like, I could do that, and it's like, well, 3 people might die, but another special.
So Zora, for the, she's action oriented. So like the guard mission is like meh, whatever. But the assault mission and the rescue mission are both, especially like to take a blow to Render, who is kind of her foil, would be pretty awesome for her.
Gotcha. So one is against Render and the other is against we don't know whose forces are these zombie things?
Yeah.
So I just read that siege weapons are fine quality.
But the camp doesn't have any siege weapons to offer, though.
Oh.
You can't get them here.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah, we
somewhere
are.
like West and East Lake and Fort Calico will have that sort of stuff without you self-building them.
Ooh.
You can also acquire siege weapons and self-build them as a long-term project.
Get a siege weapon from Westlake, but it's gonna be from Crocker Park. So it's gonna have live, laugh, love on the side of it.
Oh my
I
god.
was about to say we could wait until we get to Calico, then we could get cat themed siege weapons.
Calico is three spaces away.
Amazing.
Okay.
But yeah, so those are the
You know what I mean?
missions.
Yeah.
Dope.
So yeah, that's it for today's session. We will see you again next week. Make sure to check out, like, subscribe, comment on this video. Let us know how we did, what we're doing, if you like what's going on.
Do this thing. Comment below.
It's really there.
That's what everyone's doing.
I have it in both cameras.
Whoa.
And we'll see you all next time.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye. I love you.
What?